Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I just thought I'd show you, bearing in mind my door to the house remains shut during these months. Only time that might stay open overnight would be in the depths of winter. But I don't like the cats coming in here, so I try and keep it shut. That adds a little cost to me, because like in the winter, instead of borrowing some heat from the house, I'd use my heater, which obviously costs some pennies, but I'd rather it that way round. But if you look this morning, it's quite early in the day, it's sort of like coming up to 9 o'clock. Look at the glass. Yeah. Let's look at the glass. The glass is absolutely wringing wet all round. So this saturation in here is due to this time of year heavy on the watering, stuff's growing, and should have higher temperatures during the day, but we haven't had them. And yesterday was a watering day. My mounts and all my pots got watered, except for the cooler stuff. I'll do that today, the shadier stuff. So the amount of water that splashed on the floor, plus the evaporation from all the pots overnight, and when I came out here just now it was 15 degrees. So that's been my nighttime temperature. Now it probably wasn't 15 all night, it probably dropped down as the night went on. And obviously, you know, 15 was probably its lowest point, although it can't have gone any lower than that, the heater would have kicked on. So what I've just done now is wound the thermostat. That's set to 16 overnight, so when it drops down to 15, when it comes away from 15, like to 14, it brings it back up to 16. So that's my nighttime stuff, which you shouldn't need in the summer, really. But I've just wound the heater up to 21. Now the door's open behind me at the moment, but the heater's on, and I'll get it up to 20, 21. And as the temperature rises, the humidity will fall. As you can see, it's falling there now. Yeah. Notice how it drops in little waves. See? It sits still for a while, 96.1. And it's because of that. Because that oscillates, and the sensor's up here, it gets a blast every now and again, and then it gets a little rest. So it alters the reading. This one stays on 24/7 now, as do the little ones up there, and there's some little ones down in here as well. All that stays on 24/7 this time of year, and quite honestly, chances are it's going to stay like that forever now. But this one is wired up to the heater, so when the heater comes on, the oscillating fan comes on to distribute that heat. So as it rises up towards the roof, it gets a whack from that. And basically that stops me getting hot spots. It stops me frying any of the plants up on the rack. But yeah, very heavy condensation this morning. Very heavy. I mean, this little gadget can't cope. It's not that accurate anyway. It just says 99. The real humidity is up there on that gadget. The setting below is my setting. It's a degree or two out. Reads low, fraction low. So I've got it set to 74, really it's 75, but the reading above is what it actually is now. That's the relative humidity measurement that the sensor says it is. So too high, that's too high really, but there's not a lot I can do about it. Once the water's in here and it evaporates up into the air, then that's where it lives. You can't suddenly take it out again, can you? I mean, it will sort itself out, you know, it will sort itself out during the day. I mean, at the moment, the sun's out, it's crystal clear blue sky, but it's too early in the day for that to have come round and hit this place. Now, when it does come round and hit this place, if the temperature reaches a certain amount, the extractor and the inlet fan will come on. That will change the air in here dramatically, which means even if it's a cool night again tonight, the humidity won't go up as high because it'll have changed the air in here. At the moment the air is quite saturated with moisture, but by leaving the door open to the lounge for a while with the fans on, they'll be drawing some of the air from the house in here, which will actually lower the humidity as well. So yeah, too high. It's a chance of rot setting in and things like that, which is why I leave the big circulating fan on now. The air movement hopefully, you know, negates that heavy humidity. That level of humidity in standing air that doesn't move would not be good, because it could form condensation on the plants, and you can almost guarantee condensation on plants will run down into the leaf joints, which is not a good place to have cold water, because it would be cold. If if that's the temperature of the air, why would the water be warmer? It's going to be that or less. Yeah. Anyway, we have a new bloom, although this was expected. This is just opened. This is it's probably a trade name that's actually hijacked a real name. There is a real hybrid called Irish Mist, a genuine registered thing, and I'm not sure this is actually it. But I mean, I bought it as Cambria Irish Mist, and Cambria is not even a proper name. So, but whatever it's called, it's very attractive. So that's just literally opened up. More to come, but that's just opened. Now I've got a busy day today. I've got an Orchid Society Zoom meeting this afternoon. That ends up taking up most of the afternoon, and because I've got something, nothing to do with this place, to do tomorrow, I've got tomorrow, another one of these care collabs to do, which needs to be posted tomorrow, so I'm probably going to film that in a minute and get that out of the way, because obviously I don't want to be having to film it tomorrow when I've got other stuff to do, if you see what I mean. So for once I'll film it early. Well, it's only a day early. Nothing really is going to change in a day, is it? Anyway, so I'll get that one done. And yeah, I mean, I will do the care collabs. I'm quite happy to join in. But looking at the one tomorrow, there's an awful lot of channels taking part. Now, part of the idea of the care collab is to get people to see some of the smaller channels and view their videos. If there are too many care collabs for the same plant at that particular point in time, i.e. the day that they're posted and possibly the day after, there's some aren't going to get watched, because people won't have the time, so some are going to get missed out. Now, in the future, down the line, when people start using Google search and things like that, some of these could come up. But Google search will bring up the ones that have already had the highest hits. So, too many channels doing the same plant might not be the best of ideas. But this has not been running a huge amount of time yet. It's got to be given time to go through and try the different variables, you know, some large channels, some small channels and new ones, you know, different types of plants in the orchid world. There's all sorts of variables come into this, and not all of the videos will be watched by a lot of people. That's not going to happen. That is the nature of YouTube. That's nothing to do with the nature of the care collab, which is working pretty good. It's just YouTube and the people that watch YouTube. I mean, I can't sit and watch orchid videos all day long. It'd drive me up the wall. So I watch some. And the fact that I can only watch some, I'm going to be selective. You know, I've only got so much time that I put aside for watching other people's YouTube videos. And I don't only watch orchid videos on YouTube. I also watch music videos, nature videos, you know, a variety of other stuff. It's not just orchids. So, and there's only so many hours in the day, and they're not all dedicated to YouTube. So, like this next care collab tomorrow, there's a lot of channels involved. I'll probably only watch a couple. How do I choose? You know, I'm really asking that question on your behalf. I know how I will choose. In amongst there will probably be some friends. Well, theirs will get watched, definitely. Those I've never heard of might not get a look in, but then if I don't try, then I won't know. And all I can say is that my last care collab was too long. It was my first one. So there was quite a bit of chat in there that was about the subject, not about the plant. This next one will be about the plant. Consequently, it'll be a lot shorter. And therein, I think, lies the best approach, is that if the videos are kept nice and short and to the point, without changing anybody's style or anything like that, but the shorter they are, the more of them will be watched. Let's hope that works, because I just want to see it work, basically, because the idea is really good. But there are some variables and some factors that on certain occasions might make it not work quite as well for that particular care collab, and others it may work, you know. I mean, if you get a care collab with 3 videos, the chances are all 3 will get watched by most of the people that watch those sort of videos. If you get 10, the chances are 3 or 4 will get watched by those people that watch those sort of videos. You see what I'm getting at? Yeah, okay. Anyway, I'll stick mine up tomorrow. It is so that you know what's coming. First of all, we'll have to have a chat about what I'm going to call it, because I'm going to call it Laelia purpurata. Technically it's Cattleya purpurata, and I've got a bit of a beef about that. Anyway, we will discuss that not at length, but to a degree tomorrow. Here's a little hint for you why I've got a beef about it. At some point during this plant's history, some clown wanted to put it in the Sophronitis group. You know, that group of little tiny miniatures that mainly have red flowers. When you get daft things like that coming up, you sort of think, do these people really know what the hell they're doing? And if they don't, shouldn't they just stop messing about with the names? Because it drives me up the flipping wall. Anyway, mine is called Laelia purpurata. And even though technically that's wrong, I don't care. That's what it's called. That's what it was when I bought it. That's what virtually every nursery in the flipping world sells it as. And that's what it's called. That's what my title will be. I'll have to put Cattleya in brackets, or also known as, but technically it is Cattleya. So we'll fine-tune that little discussion tomorrow at the right time in the right place. And I'll see you tomorrow for that one. And then I think the day after that I'm going to have to get another one of the Project Orchid videos up, or I'm going to run out of June. June is burning up faster than my ability to produce the videos at the moment. So, anyway, see you tomorrow. I've moved a few plants around in here, and I don't think it's going to make a huge amount of difference, but little plants like this, you know, little Miltoniopsis primary cross, it's quite a small plant. You know, it can only hold so much moisture in those leaves, and these leaves are quite narrow and fine. And this is my display area, with that pointing at it. That's too much. Drain the moisture out of the plants, just blast it away. So go steady with your fans. There are some plants that will lose moisture from their leaves faster than it can be replaced via the root system. Yeah, especially if the pot's a bit dry or it's on a mount that's dried out, and then you blast the leaves with, you know, a gale force wind from a fan. You do need air movement, and the warmer it gets, the greater that air movement needs to be, because that's to cool the plants, but not at the expense of dehydrating them. Now I'm okay, I can move the air pretty vigorously in here because of what we've just talked about. High humidity. But in lower forms of humidity, you'll suck all the moisture out of your leaves, and that doesn't do the plants any good at all. So anyway, stuff to do, things to do. I might even do a bit of repotting. Obviously that video will be a while before that comes up, because I've got other videos to do first. Anyway, see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, for those of you, can I say it now? Yes, I can say it now. My Dendrobium friedrichsianum came second in the competition, and looking at what came first, I'm happy to bow to the one who came first, because it's a superb plant. I'm not always that way inclined, and sometimes I'm quite anti some of the judges' decisions, but yeah. Even so, I got 3 of the judges gave this high points and the other one didn't. The judging to me is just so inconsistent, it drives me up the wall. In the real world, where judging takes place normally, there's a gaggle of judges. I don't know what the collective noun is for judges. A nuisance of judges? Anyway, when they gather together and discuss a plant, they come up with a consensus. But obviously in a virtual competition, each judge is working on their own. They haven't got that discussion. And I'm hoping that's the reason for the large variety in the points awarded. Anyway, I got a second, and it was incredibly close. It was less than a point. So, a very close second, as they say. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by. Whoops, forgot to add the joke on the end. I will try and remember most times. Right. I left my job at the helium gas factory. I refuse to be spoken to in that tone of voice.